Grant, how about starting with sort of a summation of the first two games, what you liked and maybe what wasn't as satisfactory?
Yeah, I think some positive things to take away from North Carolina Central is I think we defended really well in the second half. I think that's obviously something that we need to do well every single game and didn't do as well against Utah State. I think we got some good looks against Utah State. Obviously, we didn't shoot as well as we wanted, but I thought we got some good looks, and I thought we competed really hard, but it wasn't enough, and it's not the outcome we wanted. They're a tough team to guard, but regardless, we can't give up 80 plus points to anybody, and we certainly can't let an individual score 30. That's just unacceptable on all accounts, and something we need to certainly clean up.
When you look at Georgia State, the backcourt's what jumps out statistically. They aren't quite as big as some other teams you play. I wonder if the emphasis might be more inside than usual against them.
Yeah. They're a really good team. I know they averaged over 80 points a game last year. Really old, experienced guys. And like you said, a really good backcourt. I know we're going to go over a little bit more personnel today and sort of in terms of an offensive game plan, but really we just need to defend. That needs to be number one on our list. We need to come out, we need to defend, we need to make things tough for them. But I think, regardless of who we're playing, I think our plan is to always go inside, not necessarily even to get shots, but when the ball goes inside and we just sort of attract their defense in and sort of suck them in, it's easier to throw out and get easier shots for the guards. So I think that's how we always try and attack every game.
Could you say a word or two about just the non-conference schedule in terms of the travel and the variety of opponents you play? Obviously, these are people all over the country that you're meeting.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, very good. And sort of like you said, the travel is a little wicked, more so than most years. But, that's what we signed up for, and that's what we want to do. And we're going to get to play a lot of good teams because of it. And hopefully we can, play better than we did on Friday, especially in the last 6 minutes of the game or so, and pull out some wins.
Thank you.
Bob? Can you speak a little, Grant, to the guys coming off the bench and their progression, and probably a two-pronged part? Nick and Nathan, obviously we have seen them excel way more than they have, and just what you guys do to try and, make sure they get going.
Yeah. Obviously this is Nick's second game back in a long time. So, I don't expect him to miss shots like that. I know he's going to be just fine in terms of making shots and everything. And I think Nate's the same way. I think he just needs to be aggressive. I think a little bit is on us, and we need to get him some looks, not even necessarily on play calls, but, me and Gilly, especially, just trying to find him a little bit more. But overall, as a team, I think the biggest thing for us is just being better defensively. I think that helps everybody out on offense when we're better defensively as a group. And the guys off the bench, I think, have been great so far. Isaiah has been really good in terms of giving us a spark on defense. Crab's been really great and has made some big plays for us off the bench. So I think the bench has been great so far, and I expect nothing less out of the guys to continue to progress and help us coming off the bench.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. So, Coach Mooney, could you start maybe with your thoughts on the first two games and what you liked and maybe what wasn't so great in your view?
Yeah. Well, I think I certainly think we have not played our best yet, for sure, which only 2 games into the season. So I think that's probably fine. And we'll improve and continue to get better. I thought Utah State is a really good team, difficult matchup for a lot of teams. I think that, they had 65 points with 5 minutes to go and finished with 85. So that's, they're probably on 73, 74 point pace. And then they get to 85. Maybe they were too comfortable during the course of the game. I thought our effort was good. And in rewatching it a couple of times, I thought our effort was good. But maybe the matchups led to them feeling comfortable their success led them to feeling comfortable. So, but again, a good team, and we have some areas to improve on, but I feel like our depth is good. I feel like how we're moving the ball early in the season is good, and I think our defensive effort is there, and we need to tighten things up a little bit on that end. But I feel like from what I've seen both in games and practice, I feel like we're moving in the right direction and on the right track.
Grant's emphasis was defense. It sounds like your emphasis is defense, and Georgia State's a very good offensive team. Obviously, I wonder if you could sort of assess that backcourt in particular, but the Panthers in general.
Yeah. Well, I think they scored 81 points per game last year. They put in tremendous pressure on you from the perimeter, along with an athletic front court. The guards can really score. Allen's pretty elite scorer, but all of their guards, including a couple of the guys who come off the bench, can score and put pressure on you. They play fast. They want to score. I feel like their defense puts pressure on you to try to get the game moving, to create turnovers, but also get the game moving so that they can score. So this is a really good team. And it'll be something where our transition defense will have to be excellent, and then give ourselves the opportunity to play good, solid half-court defense. So, different style, of course, than Utah State, and every team's going to have a little bit different style, but they're really trying to put pressure on you from, out of the ball screen with those guards who are aggressive and really talented.
NC Central, Utah State, historically successful, good programs. Now you face two that were picked to win their leagues. Is there part of you that wishes you had maybe a game against an opponent that wasn't so highly regarded?
A part of me, sure. But this is it's a tall order, and again, when you're in our conference, during the course of the season, you have to prepare this way if you have aspirations of the NCAA tournament. And it's just different than you would have to do it in another conference. Ideally, you would, those schools seem to play a really tough game, maybe on a neutral, come home with two games that they'll be high, or they'll be clear favorites. Just different for us, and we have to embrace that, and we look forward to the challenge. Thank you.
Bob?
Hey, Chris, I know we talked about this the other night, but just your comfort level on where you are with rotation of guys coming off of the bench and what you think they can contribute, and then any further update on Goose, on Andre.
Yeah, well, I would say I'm not as comfortable as usual because we have a lot of guys, and we have good players, some versatile guys who can play different positions. So in that way, I feel like we can put a lot of different lineups out there that are really good. But in terms of substituting guys in and getting guys enough minutes without sacrificing too many minutes from the guys who have traditionally played a lot, that's a challenge. I just foresee it being a challenge all year long. A good problem to have, for sure, a great problem, because I think we have a lot of really good guys. But Jai Bailey hasn't played as much as I think that he should to be able to help contribute to our team. And that's without Andre being back yet. And so, I think Matt Grace has played more minutes than he has in the past. I'd like to get him out there for even more minutes, but who does that mean is coming off the floor? So it's something that we're working on and talking about a lot and meeting about, but in the game, there are only 40 minutes to play the five guys out there. So in terms of Andre Gustafson, he's done well. He's progressing. He's doing more workouts this week, a little bit more live, with limited amount of guys on the floor. And so kind of going through the natural thing now where he feels better, and now his conditioning and his basketball sense and timing and those things give those things a chance to improve. But I would say maybe by next week, he might be involved in some of the practice. So he's progressing pretty nicely, and we're looking forward to having him available soon.